All right, hello and happy. Technically, it's Wednesday, but this is still my life coach PSA for Tuesdays. And if you don't know, my name is Amber Stewart. I am a health coach, life coach, and master trainer, and the owner of the Stew Project, where we are maximizing our living potential by simply taking emphasis on wellness. And I help people who are struggling to get started or struggling to see results in their fitness and wellness journeys, and I help them to create a personalized plan to help them see results and love the process. So, for this Life Coach PSA, this is really, it's not really PSA. This is just something I want to talk about because last week, actually, this past few weeks, I've been dealing a lot with the subject of suicide. And I know that in a Facebook group, there was somebody who was putting up posts that was saying, like, you know what, maybe not this week, maybe not next month or next year, but I'm thinking I'm just going to commit suicide because I'm just over it. Like, yeah, I understand I'm staying alive for my family, but I just don't want to do this anymore. And one of the persons underneath that comment was like, yeah, I totally understand you. I'm probably going to do it too. Like, yeah, I know my family loves me and everything, but I can't bear this pain anymore. And I've suffered from depression, and I've had suicidal thoughts, and I've had low points in my life. But luckily, I was able to pull through and to holistically nurture myself to get back to the happy, bubbly, energetic person that I am today. And this past week, or on Monday, I was talking to my sister because around this time, about 3 years ago, my grandmother, she had just gotten married, and so she was doing a reception, a reception celebration for her marriage. And I just remember her walking, strutting in her wonderful outfit, and her husband in his walker. Like, he couldn't keep up with her. And it was so alarming because literally a few months later, she had to have surgery for some blood clots that got up to her brain. Although the surgery was successful, she was in recovery, and she just lost the will to keep fighting. And so technically she committed suicide because she took the oxygen mask off her face, and that was the only thing that was keeping her from being strong enough to be dismissed. And so she passed away, and I know my sister was able to watch that. And I just remember prior to that, like a year or so before of her passing, she had lung cancer. So she was battling lung cancer. And so she was supposed to exercise. And so she was starting exercise. And she was doing water aerobics with a friend of hers. And so she had that sense of support. But at some point, she stopped. And I just remember asking her, like, oh, so what happened? Like, so why did you stop? Like, that's supposed to help you. And she didn't respond, but instead she just got quiet and looked off and just had this disappointed look on her face. So from that point, this was before I was a health coach. This was before I was able to this was before I had the tools that I have now to talk people through their emotions and to help them motivate themselves to do what they need to do to stay alive. But yeah, I just remember looking at her face and seeing the hurt behind her eyes, because when you're quiet like that, you don't want to speak up and say that you're in pain. And so I was talking to my sister, and I was just telling her, like, I don't understand why she didn't say anything to us and say, like, hey, I'm going through this tough time with my health and I'm struggling and I need support. As in, like, I need you guys to support me in eating healthier because I know the foods that I'm eating, although I love them, they are not going to allow my body to heal the way they're supposed to. Or like, hey, I know that I don't feel like exercising, but I need to find the strength to exercise. And the people in my family at the time, like, we weren't really active people, but I know there were times when I was like in high school or in middle school, and I would be doing workouts in front of the TV, and she's like, oh my gosh, I need to do that, and she'll like flap her arms a little bit and then just go on her way. So I know the family members around us, we weren't that active, and so I can understand maybe it could be difficult for her to want to reach out because that's something that we weren't, or everybody else wasn't doing. So the thought that I had today is, if you're struggling with changing or shifting your habits, are you one of those type of people that will speak up and say, hey, this needs to change, hey, I need support, and allow people to come and help you and to lift you up? Or are you one of those people who will shy away and be quiet and internalize those feelings and instead decide to pour out into everybody else and to prepare them for your absence because you are just tired? Because that's what my grandmother did. And one of the things that I was discussing with my sister was that, like, if she would have told us earlier on that she was struggling with her eating habits and her exercise, then we could have helped her feel better. But she was not recognizing her pain. She was just getting up and pushing through and doing her philanthropic businesses or her philanthropic work and helping others and being the Dorothy Stewart that she was, when instead she did not take time for self-care like she should have. And when obstacles arose, she should have been finding avenues to overcome those roadblocks instead of just saying, whatever, I'm just going to stick to what I know. And I think that's a problem that a lot of us have. And if you have that awareness, then you will be able to allow other people to help you. Because I know for me, one thing I was telling my sister, that if she was struggling with the motivation to eat, because I know there were some times that I know my aunt would tell her, like, hey, you probably shouldn't eat this. And instead of her saying, yes, you're right, she was resistant. It was like, I eat what I want. And so there's a disconnect at that point. Like, yes, I understand you're tired of living in pain, but from the education and the work that I've done now, there are so many ways you can reduce your pain. You can heal your body, even after cancer, even after cardiovascular disease, even after diabetes. My grandmother had all of those things, and the main culprit at the end of the day was stress and inflammation, and she was not taking care of herself earlier on. She just kept pushing through. She was not big on exercise and fitness and eating right. She was on eating good food more so than eating right. And I know that's a big problem that a lot of people have until a disease occurs and we have no idea how to take care of ourselves. We have no idea how to work our way back to health. And so we may not know who to reach out to. And this is one of the things that I help people do in my coaching programs, is that I help them learn how to take care of themselves, how to work their way back to health, even after they've gotten a diagnosis or before it's even begun. And so a lot of people don't really understand the importance of reaching out for help. And a lot of times we just internalize our pain, internalize our discomfort, because I know when I was going through depression, I did not even want to reach out for help because I know that people are just going to say, oh, just think happier thoughts, or they were just going to feel pity for me, and they were not going to offer me what I needed, because this was just thoughts that I was putting in my head, and I was just generalizing, and I was just thinking like, okay, so this is something that I'm just going to have to do on my own. And so for like a year and a half, I just allowed myself to sit with that depression. I decided to just bottle up those emotions and just focus on my work, and that was not good. And it just got to the point where I literally had a breaking point, and I couldn't take it anymore. And so I know when people reach that point, they may lash out, they may have a nervous breakdown, they may go through depression if they're not already there, or they may think suicidal thoughts. And before it gets to that point, we need to be aware on how to reach out for help, and to be able to say exactly what type of support we need. Because a lot of people will just tell you like, oh, God's got your back, you have a wonderful God. And I was a faithful person, my grandma was a faithful person, but sometimes our faith is not going to be enough to get us through. We need to take action on our faith. We need to reach out to the right resources, and sometimes our pride or our lack of knowledge can keep us from these things, and you shouldn't allow that to take place. And so that's pretty much all I have for today. If you have any comments, if you have any similar experiences, let me know. If you feel that it is more important to learn how to, if you feel that it's important to message your concerns or your issues to your support system, let me know. Or if you feel that it's more important to prepare them for your absence when you feel like you are done fighting, then let me know. Also, if you need help or support in supporting yourself to a healthier, happier lifestyle, then let me know too. Because I know in my eyes, my grandmother died young. She was in her not late 70s, like mid 70s. I can't remember the exact age, but she was in her 70s. And I know there are people who are living to their 80s or 90s, and I know that there were plenty of things that she would have loved to be able to witness and to enjoy in our waking life. And even if her time was to leave at 70, she did not have to leave in pain or feeling weak or feeling less than what she was capable of. And I hope this inspires you to take action, and I hope that this motivates you to take care of your needs and reach out for help when you need it. And I'm sorry about the shades. It's sunny outside. I decided to be outside for this PSA. But yes, I will speak to you on Thursday for the Health Coach PSA. Take care.